While bucket lists can be a great way to set goals and motivate oneself, there are also some potential problems to consider when creating your bucket list. Here are a few to keep in mind. Unrealistic expectations. It's important to remember that not all goals are achievable and some may not be realistic. Setting goals that are too lofty or beyond one's control can lead to disappointment and frustration. A limited perspective. A bucket list can sometimes be limited by one's personal experiences and worldview. It's important to keep an open mind and consider new possibilities that may not have been previously considered. You can sometimes focus too much on the future. Whilst it's great to have goals and aspirations for the future, it's important not to overlook the present. It's important to appreciate and enjoy life as it is, rather than always looking that far into the future. And financial constraints. Some bucket list items may be costly or require significant financial resources. It's important to be realistic about one's financial situation and consider alternatives that may be more feasible. And the pressure to conform. Sharing a bucket list on social media can sometimes lead to pressure to conform to what others are doing, rather than following one's own passions and interests. Overall, while there are potential problems with making a bucket list, being aware of these pitfalls and taking them into consideration can help create a list that is both achievable and fulfilling. Bucket lists are great, but the before list brings things back into perspective and breaks your life down to decades at a time. So let's explore that. There are many reasons why the before list works. It's time specific. Tony Robbins, the renowned motivational speaker and entrepreneur, once said, "People overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade." However, over time, this quote has been modified to include shorter timeframes such as months or even in a week. This quote speaks to the importance of setting realistic goals and breaking them down into smaller, more manageable tasks. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement and optimism of the new year and set lofty resolutions that may be difficult to achieve. However, by breaking down big goals into smaller, more achievable tasks, people can make consistent progress and build momentum towards their ultimate objective. Similarly, people may feel discouraged or overwhelmed when faced with a big project or task and underestimate their ability to make progress in a shorter time frame. By breaking the project down into smaller tasks and focusing on what can be achieved in a day, a week, a month, a decade, people can make tangible progress and stay motivated. The before list limits the goals and ideas to a decade, rather than a whole lifespan, which makes it easier to grasp the concept of time, how to manage it, and look at it when breaking them down to smaller steps.